Those days. I remember those days.
Hello, vinyl community. This is Tommy, and welcome to another musical adventure. Today's adventure is probably a little late for some of you guys. It is my record store day finds video. Now, there is a reason why this video is coming so late. Now, let me just start by saying I wasn't able to get out on record store day. I had a family emergency. Long story, but I spread the love and picked up records from all over the place. So, and I'm going to explain to you kind of where I got some of these so I can give a shout out to some of these stores and places. So, you know, here's the thing. I haven't been, for the last couple of years, I haven't really been getting up and getting out because there hasn't been a whole lot that I've really wanted. And whatever stuff I've wanted, what few titles that I've been after, I was able to get from online retailers or stores that were selling their stock online. So, without further ado, let's get into the record store day pickups, and I'll show you what I got. And then at the end of the video, it'll probably make sense why it took so long to get the video up. Anyway, I'm going to start with my number one pick. This was the album that when Record Store Day, the list came out, this was the album that I checked, like I had to have it because I didn't have a copy on vinyl. It sort of completed the collection, and it is Alex Chilton, Set. Now, this is an album that originally came out in 1999 on the Bar None label. And there's the track list back there so you guys can see it. But very cool record, set of covers, very laid back. Kind of a, I say smoky set, but I mean, it's Alex and really pretty much just a trio and running through some standards. Oogum Boogum, Use a Viper, Single Again, Shiny Stockings. So very eclectic, but very cool set from Alex. Now, this one was number one on my list, and I was able to pick up a copy at the Little Big Store in Raymond, Mississippi. Now, those of you who are regular watchers to my channel, you guys know I've been there. That was a place that I sort of really set me on my way for my record store day, or record hunting, record collecting. It all started there. I'm from Jackson. So I was able to procure a copy from Little Big Store, and so grateful because that was my number one pick. So if you're ever in Central Mississippi and you want to do some great digging, go to Little Big Store. Go back and watch my video I did a few years ago on Little Big Store, and you can see the store. It's in an old train depot, and it has got some really great stuff in there. And tell Christine that I sent you. She's great, and she'll take care of you. This is the inner sleeve for the Alex Chilton record. It features some faxes from Alex. Regarding some notes for like the cover photos and everything. And I would be remiss if I didn't show you guys the great colored vinyl here. Memphis Hot Wax, I think they call it. So I was really glad to get that on LP, on vinyl. So it's a cool record. And I think they only made 1,500 of them. So yeah, it was very limited. So the next one is another Record Store Day exclusive. I tend to stay away from like what they call the first releases just because I know they're going to be out there. And there were a few titles that were in the first release stack that I sort of like. I wouldn't mind having them, but at the same time, just with budget and everything, I just said, you know what, I can hold off on those. But the next one I knew I needed to grab. Now, I was able to make a one record store stop over the weekend on Record Store Day. I basically had one shot, and I visited Fantasyland in Atlanta, Georgia. Fantasyland is a really nice store, really big, and I was fortunate enough that I kind of could take the detour and stop there because I was just traveling through Atlanta on Record Store Day. But I managed to pick up, they had one copy left. This was my number two pick, The Kings of America, Elvis Costello, live at Royal Albert Hall, recorded in January of 1987. So yeah, as you can tell by the photo there, this was the King of America support tour. Now the band on this record, I mean, let's talk about it. Elvis Costello, James Burton, Jim Keltner, Jerry Schiff, Benmont Tench, and T-Bone Walk. Now some of these tracks have come out and as bonus tracks on various reissues and everything. So it was nice to get the full set. And it's a great concert. Fans of Americana, that's a must-have. It's a killer set. It sounds really, really good. And I'm holding up the hype sticker for you guys. And this was on Third Man Records. And you know, with Third Man, they're always going to bring the goods as far as making some cool vinyl. This is no exception. Look at that purple, that wispy purple, kind of cool, purple marble, I guess, if you will. Both records, really nice. This was a really cool record, really cool set, and really stoked to get it. So thanks, Fantasyland, for having a copy, and I was able to snag one. Now, the next one I ordered the next day from Plaid Room Records. Now, a lot of you guys probably use the services of Plaid Room, me included. I've picked up a few Record Store Day items from Plaid Room, and so this was also on my list. And fortunately, they had some copies left on Sunday morning when they put their Record Store Day, remaining Record Store Day on sale, and it is the Hindu Love Gods. This is one that I've been wanting on vinyl for quite a while. I don't know if it ever actually came out on vinyl when it originally was released in 1990. It came out on Warner Brothers. Now, for those of you who don't know what Hindu Love Gods is, I'll hold this up for you. That is members of REM. That's Peter Buck, that's Mike Mills, and Bill Berry, basically the band. And that is Warren Zevon back there. Warren is the singer and main guy. Now, this is not Warren Zevon fronting REM. It's not really an REM record, and it's not really a Warren Zevon record. It's them getting together and jamming through some stuff. Now, most people probably know the cover of Prince's Raspberry Beret that was on this record, and there's a music video for it. But it's got a lot of like blues stuff like Manish Boy, Wang Dang Doodle, I'm a One Woman Man. And it's a cool record. It really is. Very good stuff. It's like I said, but if you're looking for either of those artists and sort of saying, okay, well, I like Warren, I like REM. Here's the inner sleeve, some of the photos that are in there. Show you guys that. It's not really either of those, but it's a cool record and very, very fun. It's standard black vinyl, so there's nothing really to show on that one. So, but I'm glad to have that one. That was a big pick. Now, another one that I was kind of about, but I went ahead and grabbed one while I could, just because why not? And I've been a big fan of these. They've been pretty consistent on Record Store Day of putting out Todd Rundgren stuff. And so they've continued that with Initiation. The problem with, and the Initiation originally came out in 1975. The problem with Todd Records, especially Todd Records in the 70s, is that he crammed a lot of music on his albums. And so, the tracks would be just crammed on there. And as a result, I think some of the fidelity suffered. So these reissues have really taken care of this. This originally was a single album, and now it has been moved to a double record set. So it's the 50th anniversary. Paul Myers has been doing the liner notes for it. There's the hype sticker for it. And Initiation's a cool record because it's kind of a return to form for Todd. And I'll show you that vinyl because it's also very cool colored vinyl. So the way this set is, the first record is sort of the regular, I guess the regular Todd record. And the second side, or the second record of the set, is the Internal Fire or Fire by Friction, the instrumental stuff that was done, which was really cool because as I was listening to it, and I'll show you guys, that's just a reprint of the original inner sleeve that came with the original album. And of course, the inside has this nice set of liner notes from Paul. A great picture of Todd there. But it's talking, one of the things about it, about this album, and I'm not going to give a full review of the album, but one of the things that was cool about it to me was that not only does it sound better, but the instrumental stuff was really ahead of its time. Now, it sounds kind of dated now, but if you take yourself out of it, I like the stuff. I like the instrumental stuff. It's very, very interesting. That record was cut by Chris Bellman, so it sounds phenomenal. I don't think Initiation has sounded any better ever in its duration. So the Todd reissues have been top quality. I grabbed that from my pals down at T-Bones Records in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They put their Record Store Day inventory online, and I was able to get a copy of Initiation from them. And so thanks, T-Bones. I also did them on one of my musical adventures. You can go back and watch my video on T-Bones. Very cool store down there. It's been a long time since I've been able to go in. But I've done some Record Store Day orders from them, and that was one of them. And so the other one I did pick up at Fantasyland, this was kind of on I would call my secondary list. I saw it on the list. I kind of highlighted it. But then when I saw it in person, I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Clarence White, Melodies from a Bird in Flight, 1963 to 1973. Clarence was, of course, a member of the Byrds, the later period Byrds, and phenomenal guitar player. Absolutely incredible. And so I grabbed this and was happy to do so because it's a really cool set. And it's from Liberation Hall Records. And like I said, just as a fan of Clarence, as a fan of that period of the Byrds, I absolutely had to have it. Of course, as you can see here, there's the hype sticker, 14 rare tracks from the Byrds legendary guitarist. And here is the liner notes and everything written by John Delgado. Picture of early Clarence there for you. And then later Clarence. Clarence unfortunately passed away. And so I want to show you guys that vinyl, which is very cool. Colored vinyl for colored vinyl fans. But Clarence died in 1973, was tragically killed in a vehicle accident, and really gone too soon. Phenomenal player, great musician, and just a tragic end to a brilliant career. And so now that leads us to, and I picked that up at Fantasyland. So that leads us to the last thing, which is the reason why this video took so long to get to you, because I just got this in. I had to order it from an import place, but this was a record that I am ashamed to say that I kind of slept on. When I saw it on the list, I said, I really want this record, but I kind of thought it would be around, so I didn't just jump on it trying to get it like I did the Chilton, find it and get it in under any cost. And so this was one that I didn't realize they were going to press so few of them, and I underestimated the demand for it. And so I don't think any were available to any of the online any of the online people. I was going to say realtors, like they're selling house, retailers. Sorry. But anyway, I don't think any were online. And so I missed out on it. And so it became frantic for me to try to find a copy. Now, I don't do flippers. I just, we all have thoughts about it. And I'm not going to get into that. That's the problem a lot of you guys have with Record Store Day, and I don't want to get into the politics of Record Store Day. These are all records that I wanted to have, that I would have bought regardless of how they came out. So, whatever, take that for what it's worth. But this last record was definitely one that I was really afraid that I'd missed out on, but I was able to grab a copy. This is Marty Stuart and his fabulous superlatives, Space Junk. This is a collection. It's a 2-record set of 20 superlative instrumentals. Think Ventures meets Searchers meets, just that tremolo, twangy surf rock thing. Very, very cool. This cover art was done by none other than Herb Alpert. This is on the Snake Farm label. And like I said, 20 tracks cut at 45 RPM. And I mean, if you don't know these guys, if you've never seen them in person, what are you doing? Like, such a great band, such a great artist. And so I was, just so glad to get that. Now, for those eagle-eyed viewers, that Telecaster right there that Marty's got, that's Clarence White's Telecaster, the B-Bender Telecaster. Marty plays that. And so Marty is the sort of spiritual successor to Clarence. But so there is a connection to the Clarence record. But this thing is awesome. And it's not available on streaming or anything like that. And there's no, as far as I know, no other releases for it to come out. But this is a very cool record that was really glad to get. I dropped the hype sticker here. And I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was kind of fun. This is the Record Store Day UK hype sticker, which is kind of fun. So that just shows that it came all the way over from the other side. Now, the standard black vinyl, very well pressed, so I'm not going to show you guys the records, but I will say that it's quiet. I think they pressed it in Germany, but I did want to show you guys the little insert that came with it. There's Marty and the guys. That's Chris Scruggs. Yeah, you've recognized the name Scruggs. Harry Stinson, Kenny Vaughan, and of course Marty. There's not a slacker in this band. Just good stuff. And of course that cool retro photo. And so, that was sweating it, trying to get that. But I was able to get it, like I said, from an overseas import. And I didn't pay a whole lot extra for it. I got it for right around the cost, which was awesome. So I got lucky. Because like I said, I don't do flippers, and I don't do... I'll buy from people that are doing retail, and all these guys are retail record stores, so I feel like I spread the love around. So Little Big Store, Plaid Room Records, T-Bones Records, Fantasyland, all great places, and so many great record stores. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys were out there supporting your local shops, but that's what I got for Record Store Day. Now, there's a couple other things that are floating around that I may pick up sooner or later. I almost slept on the Marty, but I think I got in right at the nick of time. Just had to wait for it to get here. Played it last night and was worth the wait. A very cool record. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed my Record Store Day. What did you get on Record Store Day? Did you have a great time? I've seen some of your videos, and it looks like there was a lot of cool stuff for everybody to choose from, and we'll do it next time. But that's all I got for you this video. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.